Hello Year 3, welcome back to another English lesson. I'm really pleased with all of your English work that you've done this week. I've seen some excellent examples of people showing me they understand the features of an information text, about headings and subheadings, and I know yesterday's task was a little bit tricky with the purpose of the information text. So really well done for all of your hard work, and I look forward to seeing your plans that you're going to do for your writing on Monday. So let's have a look at our learning objectives for today's lesson. We're going to select the correct information to include in your writing. You're going to use the features of information text to help you present your work. And you're going to evaluate your own plan and identify any improvements. So the learning objectives that we're going to do today are based on this planning aspect. So we're going to plan for our piece of writing that we're going to do. The tasks are short, the video is short, I'm sure you'll be very pleased to hear that. My intention is that it will be under 8 minutes long. Let's see whether I'm able to do that or not. This is the first task that we're going to have a look at then, and everyone's going to do this, and it's based on the information that you did from yesterday's lesson about the purpose. We're going to look at our heading, which we should all be familiar with. We're going to look at those key aspects that are relevant to the purpose. So a couple of people yesterday had put about the fact that they were going to share about what the weather was like and where was a good place to stay. Now let's not forget we're talking about ancient Egypt, and as much as we would love to maybe go and visit ancient Egypt, it's going to be a little bit difficult because it was so long ago in the past. And although the weather and the climate is probably similar now to what it was at the time of ancient Egyptians, again, it's not necessarily an important part of the information about ancient Egypt. So we're going to leave those two out, but we have got the key dates, who lived there, information about the pyramids and hieroglyphics as well. What I would encourage you to do, if you haven't already done so, is to have a look at your history lesson from this week, because that contained some information around this part of the writing that might help you with your plan. And also, if you've got any books at home that happen to be about ancient Egyptians, then you can use that as well. And if not, if you are at home and you want to use some resources online, then with your grown-ups help at home, please use the internet to find some information as well, but don't forget to use KidRex or another child-friendly search engine. So we're going to have a look at this task first. Our heading then is what is ancient Egypt. Hopefully you are all aware of that being our heading. You're going to have your subheadings underneath that. One of them might be where is Egypt, and for your bullet points in here, and I've only done this top one because I want you to do the rest on your own, all I've put is that it's in Africa, that's the continent that it's on, and the fact that it's near the equator. I'm not going to put anything more at the moment, and towards the end of the video we're going to look at how I can use that note to turn into sentences afterwards. For the second task then, I want you to consider the layout. I want you to think about how this information is going to look on the page. Where do you want the heading to be? Where do you want the subheadings? Are you going to include any pictures? Where are they going to go? So thinking about some examples that we've looked at this week, we looked earlier on about Mary Anning and how this was set out. We had our heading at the top, and here they've used the dates as some of the subheadings. Now, although that's fine, and you could do it that way if you wanted to, don't forget that we want to include some more information as well. But if you wanted to use those key dates as your subheadings and fit the information around the pyramids and the hieroglyphics around that, then you could do that if you wanted to. But I just want you to think about that layout and how your information is going to be presented. So think about the other ways that we've presented information this week. It might be that you decide to have a topic and then a fact and then another fact and then more information and possibly a conclusion at the end, maybe summarizing the key facts that you've discussed. Or it might be more in the style of the example that you looked at with the solar system and the Earth and the Sun. It's entirely up to you how you present the information, as long as it makes sense and as long as each of the sections that you're looking at has the subheading that relates to that information. So you're going to have a task here where you're just looking at how you're going to arrange the information on a page. It's as simple as that, really. Just take a little bit of time to think about how you're going to present your information. So the third task is an important one because we're going to ask you now to evaluate your plan and suggest any improvements. And you might want to do this more than once. You might want to do it once you finish writing your plan. You might decide that you're going to do it a couple of days afterwards. You might decide to look at it just before you come to do your writing. And we want you to think about if there's any improvements that you could make. Is all the information included that you wanted to include? Is it easy to read? Is it set out in a correct way? And have you got all of those main features that we're talking about? Are you going to write in third person? Are you going to write in present tense? Think about those features that we looked at the start of the week, and then also think about the purpose. Remember, that purpose that we're looking at is to inform people about ancient Egypt. When we're looking at using our plan, because remember, we're not going to write full sentences in our plan, it's just going to be really quick notes to help us to then transfer that into our writing. So here I've just done a quick example so you can see how those notes can turn into sentences quite easily. So we've got where is Egypt and Africa and near the equator. So I've written 4 words in my plan, but when I've come to look at writing that, I've got my subheading of where is Egypt. I've got Egypt is in Africa near the Mediterranean Sea. It is close to the equator and so the climate is very warm. Perfectly reasonable sentence or sentences, and it clearly uses the information from my plan, but I've added some extra information to it to make it coherent so it makes sense and also make it interesting. What I want you to think about when you do this is that you are setting it out in the right way and that you're using that information to transfer it so that that sentence is relevant still to the purpose. So this is still informing someone about ancient Egypt and telling me where Egypt was. I know that lots of you have said about you could add a map and a picture of where that is, and that's absolutely brilliant because that will help your description. So year 3, take your time, try your best. Good luck with your planning. Good luck with your writing. I look forward to having a look at your plans. And Miss Wilkinson will be with you next week. And I've done this in under 8 minutes. Bye.